Hello friends, today we are going to discuss the important part of this chapter, atomic structure. Already we have discussed that atom is the smallest part of matter. The atom is divisible. It consists of very tiny particles, very small particles, subatomic particles. They are electrons, protons and neutrons. These are very small particles present inside the atom. It is experimentally proved. The next step, the next attempt by the scientist, that what are the arrangement of these subatomic particles? In which place these particles are arranged inside the atom, are placed inside the atom? That is a question mark. But it is experimentally also proved that they have some fixed position inside the atom. It may be very small, but it has some fixed position inside the atom. So, for this idea, we have to discuss some atomic models. What are the construction of atom? What are the position of particles inside the atom? The first attempt given by Thomson in the year 1898. That means at the end of 19th century, that this Thomson model started. According to Thomson, the whole atom is made of positively charged particles. The atom is made up of positively charged particles. So atom is made up of positively charged particles in which negatively charged particles, electrons, are embedded in it. What is the meaning? That whole atom is made of positively charged particles, means positively charged sphere. It is made of positively charged particles, means it is made of positively charged sphere, in which negatively charged electrons are embedded in it. Means no fixed position of electrons. No fixed position of electron. At a different place, electrons are fixed inside the atom. There is no fixed position of electrons. Electrons are fixed in the positively charged sphere in different places. And this model also indicate what? Atom is neutral. Atom is neutral, having same number of protons and electrons. Atom is neutral. He proved that atom is neutral because same number of positive charge and negative charge are present. Because proton is positive charge and electron is negative charge, that's why the number is same inside the atom. That's why atom is neutral. And electrons and protons, are remain in the atom by the electrostatic force of attraction. By the electrostatic force of attraction. Means electron protons remaining electrons and protons are remaining in the atom by the electrostatic force of attraction. That means there is opposite force. That means attractive force exists between electrons and protons. Due to this, electrons and protons remain inside the atom. They cannot be detached because they are attracting each other. And atom is neutral. So this is the concept of Thomson model. And this model also called as plum pudding model. Just like watermelon model. We have seen watermelon. If you cut the watermelon, the whole body will be red color. That means the whole body is red color and the seeds, black seeds are fixed like this. The black seeds are fixed inside the watermelon. It will be visible, but the whole body is red color. That means whole body is like watermelon. The whole atom is made of positive charge sphere and the negative charge electrons are embedded or fixed inside the atom. So there is no fixed position like watermelon. This is called watermelon model or plum pudding model or raisin pudding model. Just like we are making cake, we are using dry fruits. We are adding dry fruits. Dry fruits just like behave as electrons and the whole cake is just like atom. Atom is mainly made of positive charge sphere in which electrons are embedded in it. That's why this is called watermelon model, plum pudding model, raisin pudding model, like this. So different names it has. But this model is not accepted by the modern scientists because this model could not explain the stability of atom. So what is the main drawbacks of this model? The main drawbacks of this model is, what are the drawbacks of this model? Drawbacks is he could not explain. He could not explain the stability of atom. He could not explain the stability of atom and also not explain the spectra of atom. Spectra of atom, shape of the molecule, so these are some drawbacks of Thomson model, but it provides some idea, the concept regarding the structure of atom. What? Atom is neutral. Only drawback is no fixed position of electrons. Electrons' position is not fixed, and the whole and the proton also position is not fixed. As per the Thomson model, whole atom is positive charge, and electrons are embedded in it, means electrons are fixed in different position. So these are some drawbacks of Thomson model. Then this model was modified by Rutherford. This model was modified by Rutherford. Rutherford's model. Thomson model was modified by Rutherford. And Rutherford's model, he prepared this model in the year 1911. In the year 1911. Just after 12 or 13 years. Just after 12 or 13 years, he made this model, Rutherford's model. And in Rutherford's model, Rutherford studied the structure of atom by using the experiment. The experiment name is alpha ray scattering experiment. The name of the experiment was alpha ray scattering experiment. Alpha ray is just like consists of helium charged particles. Helium, that means it is helium atom carrying two positive charge. If you remove two electrons from helium atom, that particle is produced. That is called alpha particle. Alpha particles are doubly charged helium particles. That means you remove two electrons from the helium atom, that positive charge particles produce. This is called alpha particle. Alpha particle carry positive charge, and it is also heavier particles, more than electron, protons and neutrons, heavier than electron, proton and neutrons, and it is produced from a radioactive substance. Produced from a radioactive substance. Radioactive particles such as radium, uranium, neptunium, so many radioactive substance, radioactive elements, they are very unstable, their nucleus is very unstable, then from these particles alpha ray produced. These are the source of alpha ray. What? Radium, uranium, neptunium, these are the sources of alpha ray. For the production of alpha ray, we can use radium. Anyway, these alpha particles selected from the radioactive substance, from radioactivity method, and these rays will pass through a small slit. It will pass through the slit. What is the role of slit? Slit will allow the ray in the form of beam. The ray will pass in the form of beam. Small ray, that means a narrow ray can be produced. Narrow ray can be produced from the slit. When the light will pass, this radiation will pass through the slit. Then small beam of ray produced. Then the ray, this ray, alpha ray, produced from the source, will be allowed to pass through the slit. Then it will allow to penetrate. It will bombard. It will collide. It will penetrate with the what? Gold foil. This gold foil, very thin gold foil. Thickness is how much? 2.1 into 10 to the power minus 7 meter. That means in millimeter, 2.1 into 10 to the power minus 4 millimeter. Millimeter means, that means very thick, 10 to the power minus 4, very thin. We cannot see naked eye also. Very thin sheet, gold foil. Because gold has property, highly malleable property, highly ductile property, that's why it can be taken for the formation of very thin sheet. When the alpha ray will pass through the gold foil, then at the opposite side of the gold foil, a circular screen, photographic screen was placed. Photographic screen was placed just back side of the, which one? Gold foil. What happens? This is also coated with zinc sulfide. Already we have discussed in the last class that zinc sulfide is a fluorescent substance. When the ray pass or ray will fall on the zinc sulfide, it will be illuminated. It will produce light. That's why the photographic screen is placed at the back side of the, because alpha ray is invisible. We cannot see the alpha ray. But when alpha ray will pass through the gold foil, then it may, after passing, it may cause illumination at the screen for the identification of ray. It is invisible. It is invisible. We cannot see the ray, but when it passes through the gold foil, then produce light. That's why photographic screen is taken for the identification of ray. Then during the experiment, he found that few alpha rays pass straight, moving straight. And after passing through the gold foil, moving straight, means without deflection, no angle produced between the incident and reflected. Incident ray and the ray passing through the gold foil remain same, the angle remaining same. There is no change in the direction. That's a passing straight. Few rays passing straight. Very few rays, that is less than the particles passing straight. Few rays, small rays pass through the gold foil. Few rays what? Undergo deflection. After passing through the gold foil, so change in direction. This direction is changing like this. The direction changes. And it is also observed the ray just toward the center of the atom. The ray showing the deflection. And very few rays, very small number. Very few rays means very small number particles returning back after striking the gold foil, returning back. Here also placed what? Gold, that is zinc sulfide screen. Because to know the deflection, to know the light. After striking this screen, the light will be illuminated. That's why 3 observations he got. During alpha ray scattering experiment, 3 types of observation Rutherford found. What is the observation? First observation is was some rays are passing through the gold foil. Some rays are passing through the gold foil. Means they are passing straight. Some rays are passing through the gold foil without deflection. Without deflection. Second observation, few rays means less than the first observation. Few rays are deflected. Few rays are deflected. Few rays are deflected from the original path. Original path. Okay? Some rays are passing through the gold foil and few rays are deflected from the original path, like this. This is the example. Suppose this is the ray, this is the direction, then after passing the gold foil, it is changing like this. Here you see this is the ray, after passing the gold foil, it will be like this. Means these are the change of direction. This one, second one, third one, like this. This type of observation, few rays are deflected from the original path. Third, very few rays. Very few rays. Means what type of rays? This one. This one, returning back. Very few rays are returning to the returned back are returned back. Very few rays are returned back like this stage. Which part? He also observation. Where is just at the center? Few rays are returned back from the center of the atom. That is also important. From where it is just passing through the center, just coming through the center, return back. Just very close to center, showing deflection. Very close to the center, showing deflection. But away from center, just away from center, without deflection, means moving straight. So 3 observations he found. Some ray moved straight without deflection, few rays deflected, and few rays returned back. Then from this observation, he made conclusion. What is the conclusion? Why the first observation is found? What is the explanation of first? First conclusion is regarding the number one. What? Atoms have vacant space. Atoms have vacant space. That's why the ray passing without deflection. Second conclusion is few rays deflected from the original fact because due to repulsion between alpha particle and positive particle are the center. Due to repulsion between alpha particle, because alpha particle also carry positive charge. Already we have taken alpha ray is just like double charge helium. Due to repulsion between alpha particle and positive particles at the center, the ray gets deflected. Third conclusion is at the center heavy positive charge particles, heavy positive charge particles remain at the center, which repel the alpha particle, alpha ray. Heavy positively charged particles remain at the center, which repel the alpha ray. Because alpha ray is somewhat less heavier, but the particles at the center is more heavier than alpha ray. If you compare the mass, if you compare the density, alpha ray particle density is low, but the central part of the atom, it carry more heavier particles. Due to the repulsion, the ray completely return back. When the ray just moving toward the center, when moving toward the center, returning back, very close to center, showing deflection, and away from center, moving straight. So these are the three observation and conclusion he found. Basing on this experiment, alpha ray scattering experiment, he retained some postulates. He retained some features of Rutherford's model. What are the postulates of Rutherford's model? Let us discuss. What are the postulates of Rutherford's model? What are the features of Rutherford's model? Electrons revolving around the nucleus in a circular path called orbit. Electrons revolving around the nucleus in a circular path called orbit. That means it is revolving around the nucleus. Like this, it is revolving around the nucleus in a circular path called orbit. The central part, contain the heavier particles called nucleus. The central part contains the heavier particles called nucleus. The central part contains heavier particles called nucleus, carrying both positive particle called proton and neutral particles called neutron. That means the central part contains nucleus. Mainly Rutherford's model only it is helping to know the study of nucleus, the existence of nucleus of the atom. All atom contains nucleus is studied by Rutherford's model, that is alpha ray scattering experiment, discovery of nucleus by Rutherford. And this nucleus, heavier particles called nucleus carrying both positive particles called proton and neutral particles called neutron. Nucleus varies from atom to atom. Nucleus varies from atom to atom in mass and charge. Different atom has different nucleus in terms of their mass and also charge. Electron exists in the atom. Electron exists in the atom by the balance of centripetal force and centrifugal force. Electron exists in the atom by the balance of centripetal and centrifugal force. That means in the earth, electron revolving around the nucleus in a circular path, and this is the nucleus. Then this force is balanced. Centripetal force always downward and centrifugal force always outward. So inward force and outward force remain same, balanced, resulting the existence of electron inside the atom. If this force will not be balanced, then electron will be automatically removed from the atom without any force without any energy, it will be removed. That's why this force is balanced by the balance due to centripetal force and centrifugal force. This force is outward and this force is inward. Due to this balance, electron exists inside the atom and continuously revolving around the nucleus. Number of proton is equal to number of electron in the atom. What does it mean? Proton is positive charge, electron is negative charge, both are equal in the atom. In the particular atom, the number of proton and electrons are same, so number of proton is equal to number of electron in the atom, so atom is neutral. Atom is neutral because electron and protons are same. This structure of atom is considered as like a solar system. It is considered as what? A solar system. A solar system. The atom is structured just like solar system, in which nucleus play the role of sun and electrons play the role of planets. Means they are not disturbed, they are remaining in its position like solar system. The position of sun is fixed and position of planets are fixed. Only planets are revolving around the sun. Similarly, electrons are revolving around the nucleus due to balancing of this centripetal and centrifugal force. So these are some postulates of Rutherford's model. Only two things important. What? Whole atom has two parts. Whole atom in the structure has two parts. This is your nucleus made of proton and neutron. Made of proton and neutron. And outer side of the nucleus, that is extra nuclear part, that is electron. So electron are the outside of the nucleus, and inside the nucleus proton and neutron both are remaining. These proton and neutron are called nuclear particles. This is called nuclear particle. Nuclear particles. This is extra nuclear particle, E, extra nuclear. Extra nuclear particles, nuclear particles. And here, these electrons and proton, neutron both. Here the nucleus, as neutron is neutral particle and proton is positive charge particle, the nucleus is positive charge. Nucleus is positive because it carries protons. Neutron is neutral and electron is negative charge. But number of electrons and number of protons are equal. That's why atom is neutral. And it is studied as the nucleus is the central part of the atom. and nucleus, size of nucleus is less than size of atom. Size of nucleus is less than size of atom because the nucleus is the part of the atom. So it is smaller. How much? It is calculated 10 to the power minus 15 meter. Nucleus size is very small, 10 to the minus 50, and size of atom is 10 to the power minus 10 meter. Atom size is 10 to the power minus 10 and nucleus is 10 to the minus 50. Approximate size. So nucleus is the smaller than the atom because nucleus is the part of the atom. So these are the some important concepts of the Rutherford's model. Okay, thank you.